Hi, um, my name is Jumoke. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. And today's session is actually meant to be interactive. It is more of hearing participants' concerns when it comes to project management professional. So, as an introduction, like I said, my name is Jumoke and I'm the president of the Project Management Institute Ghana chapter. I was privileged to write and pass my PMP in 2011. I've, I've, I'm also facilitator. I teach people and prepare people to write the exam. So I believe I'm in a position to be able to offer some form of advice or guidance for people that want to write the exam. So this is our agenda. Okay, I'm trying to minimize what is covering my screen. So we are going to define what PMP is. We will look at who is eligible to write PMP and what are the requirements for writing PMP. So most of the time, people confuse PMP and PMI. PMI is Project Management Institute, and it's like an institution that offers some form of certifications. And PMP happens to be one of those certifications. So PMP stands for Project Management Professional. It got to a point we they wanted to change it to Project Management Practitioner because you are to be practicing after you earn your certification, and that is where the Pdus come in. We go online, we browse and see some of the things from PMI.org. And it is one of the 8 certifications PMI offers, like I said, but is the leading, is the most known, recognized one out of the 8. It is globally recognized certification. In fact, when you put PMP as a project management certification beside other certifications, PMP comes on top. You can Google this. And what it says about you once you have this certification is that you know what you are doing when it comes to project management. It equips you to be able to manage any project, not necessarily the area of your expertise. Let me try to explain that. Say you are an engineer, for instance. With PMP certification, you would be able to manage projects that are not related to engineering. I know that sounds kind of bogus because I remembered in 2010 when I had my 35 contact hour training, and my facilitator said that of blessed memory, uh, Josh Oda. Josh Oda, he said this, and I argued with him because I'm an engineer and I was wondering how can I manage a project that is, let's say, medical or quantity surveying, you know. But with time, I realized that what he said was actually true because I've been privileged to manage projects that are not uh, from my profession. I've managed projects in music and events and all that. So that is what PMP does for you. It equips you, it enables you to be able to manage projects. And why so? It is because as a project manager, you don't do. When we argue that no, you have to be knowledgeable about the projects, it has to be your area of expertise, is because you are thinking about doing. But as a project manager, you manage processes. So when you are given projects, you identify the processes and then you come up with the processes that will be necessary to enable you achieve the goals of the project. And then those are the things you will be managing as a project manager. PMP sets the global standard. If you are familiar with PMP, you know that we have something called PMBOK. It stands for Project Management Book of Knowledge. It's a guide. And PMI actually has one of the things that distinguishes PMI from other project management association are the guides PMI has for, let's say, waterfall, agile, scheduling, risk, scheduling, business analysis, program management, portfolio management. PMI has guides for those things. And we call them guide because sometimes, even when you are writing PMP, there are tricky questions where you are asked if the PMBOK is like an authority that says this is how project must be managed. It's actually a guide that tells you how project could be managed, but then you would have to adapt it to the kind of projects you are managing. So the PMP set the global standard when it comes to project management, and we have about 1 million PMP worldwide. Now, when you look at the 8 different certifications that PMI offers, PMP has 93.5% of the people holding the certification. So when you put all the certifications in a basket, PMP is on top. So it's not surprising why when you mention PMI, what people think about is PMP. So PMP recognizes your ability to manage projects. Okay, once you go through the training and you are committed to applying it in your day-to-day of project management, it will set you apart. And what it will tell people about you is that you have the ability to manage projects. Not surprising, if you earn your project the PMP in Ghana here, you can use it to work in the States. You don't need to rewrite any exam to ascertain or confirm whether you're a project manager or not. PMP written in Ghana and written in Nigeria, written in Korea is the same globally. Now, some people do ask, MBA, MSc, PMP, are they the same? I have masters in project management, or I have masters in this, or I'm about to pursue MBA. Do I need PMP, or I have MSc in project management? Do I need PMP? PMP is different from MBA or MSc. These are degree courses, while PMP is a professional certification. And when you do MSc project management and then you come to PMP, you realize that they are different. We have institutions that are now including the PMBOK into their MSc program. So if you did MSc project management in KNUST, for instance, or at GIMPA, part of the curriculum, they have the PMBOK, where you will be taught the 5 process groups of that makes up project initiating, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, and closing, as well as the 10 knowledge areas, integration, cost management, time management, risk management, quality management, communication, procurement, stakeholder engagement, and all that. So if you or maybe there are other institutions that I'm not aware, but I'm aware of these two, GIMPA and KNUST. Okay, I said it earlier that 93.5% of PMI certification holders are holding PMP. Now, who is eligible to write PMP? Sometimes people want to know, I don't have a degree, or I have a degree, can I write PMP? The difference between if you hold a degree and you don't hold a degree at the requirements. If you hold a degree for PMI, whether it is first degree or master's degree, they see you as holding degree. And the requirements are for you, if you hold a degree, is that you must have 3 years leading projects or part of the project team. You may not be the project manager per se, but you are part of the people handling or managing the project. And you must have what we call 35 contact hours of project management education, where you are introduced to PMP. That is, if you don't have MSc Project Management from KNUST, you don't have MSc Project Management from GIMPA, then it means you would have to do this training that would introduce you to PMP, and then you will need the certificate to be given at the end of this training. It forms part of the requirements. So one, you need to have 35 contact hour training, and then you need to have 3 years of project management work experience. So those are the two requirements you need. Then for those that do not have a degree, they have diploma or HND or OND, they need 5 years of project management work experience, and they also need to do the 35 contact hour training that is based on PMBOK. The exam itself is made up of 200 questions, multiple choice exams for 4 hours. It's a pass or fail exam. You know whether you pass or fail before you leave the venue. Now, PMI has made it easier. You can write the exam in your home or your offices, but I am very quick to add this caution that you must have very, very reliable internet connectivity, because if your internet misbehaves, it may lead to you having to pay to rewrite the exam. So here, I want us to go to pmi.org whilst I walk us through the website. Okay, so I'm typing pmi.org. Please, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so this is pmi.org. You see certifications here, membership. If you want to be a member, this is where you go. You see the overview, become a member, how to earn free PDUs. If you're a member of Ghana chapter, one of the easiest things you get are PDUs. PDUs stand for Professional Development Units. Once you have your certification or PMP certified, you will need 60 PDUs in 3 years to recertify. At the end of every cycle is 3 years. But I can assure you that it's so easy to get PDUs when you make presentation, when you attend meetings, when you watch webinars or attend webinars virtually and all that. Then questions people ask, we have student membership, local chapters. Ghana is a local chapter. Within Ghana, we have branches in Takoradi, Kumasi, Tamale. Now we have a new one at Ho, and then one at Sunyani. These branches are formed based on the number of members in certain locations so that they can also meet face-to-face. Here in Accra, we have what we call the Ghana chapter. The chapters are usually based in the capital of the country. And so before COVID-19, we were meeting face-to-face at Swiss Spirit Alisa Hotel Ridge. But because of COVID now, we meet virtually for all our meetings, like what we are doing now. So this is what is our concern, the certifications. So I'm going to click on Overview. And then because it's my system, it recognizes that I am certified. So you certified. But then on the left, you can see PMI certification digital badge program, certification process, certification types, maintain your certification. That's after you've passed any of the exam. Certification registry. You can give PMI the right to add your name to the PMP registry so that anyone that want to search globally will find your name there. The questions, application renewal agreement, exam security, and all that. Our focus tonight is on PMP, so I'm going to click on that. You can see what is written here. The PMP is the gold standard of project management certification. Is recognized and demanded by organizations worldwide. The PMP validates your competence to perform in the role of a project manager, to lead, direct projects and teams. So I'm clicking on the PMP now. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that now you can write from the comfort of your home or offices. So that is what this column is. So this part tells us what PMP is all about. And when you scroll down, it tells you why the PMP, then how to get the PMP. I already mentioned this. I went through this. If you have a degree and if you don't have a degree. Now, the steps for you to apply online. Sometimes people do the 35 contact hour and they will start preparing for the exam. And when you ask them this, I want to be ready before I apply to take the exam. And I always advise them, apply to PMI now. When you apply and your application is approved, you don't necessarily have to write the exam immediately. Once it's approved, let's say I applied and it's approved today. I'm so happy today. I know somebody that wrote the exam and passed today. So, and she's a lady, so I'm a bit biased. So, once you receive the approval, let's say today, you can decide to write your exam in November 30th, because once you receive the approval, you'll be given the link to effect payment. Once you effect payment, you can now schedule your exam. And I tell people, once you do the 35 contact hour, you have idea the load or the work that it will take for you to complete the like studying or preparing for the exam. Now, that would inform you as to how you should prepare or how long you will need to prepare. So let's say you receive the approval today and you think you will need 2 months to prepare for the exam. Then you schedule it that you write in August or September. The beauty of that too is that you can actually change the date. If you want to change the date for free, you can do that twice, but it has to be done 3 weeks to the date you schedule. Then you can change it. But know that once you receive approval, you have a total of 12 months to write the exam. If you don't write the exam within these 12 months, whenever you want to write the exam, you would have to start the process, reapplying and all that again. So I'm opening this so that you yourself can go through that. You can see the requirements, the handbook that you can download, the application pointers. Then after you apply and you receive approval and you effect payment $405 if you are a member. If you are not a member, it's $555. Okay. Yeah, so that is what we have on the website. And I'm also happy to share some comments, what people are saying about certification. Personally, I have I'm a consultant. I've been consulting since 2011 in market research and project management. And I've had the privilege of being contacted for projects in Africa, Ghana, because I have PMP with my name, and that sets me apart from my colleagues. Okay, so and it also helps in delivering my projects uniquely. Okay, so this gentleman says, okay, so the reason why people actually go for PMP differs. Some people is for career growth. Some people is demand on from the organization. And some people, they just want to be unique, or they want to have edge over their colleagues at work. So this guy, for instance, says, I needed a certification to get to the next stage in my life. I, for instance, was introduced to PMP by a colleague. I didn't even know anything about PMP, and I felt PMP was meant for IT people. But I was schooled and I got the understanding that no, we are all project managers, really. But there are two types of project managers. Type 1, they are aware that they are project managers and they do all that they need to do to make them deliver optimally. And then we have the type 2 that are not aware that they are project managers, and so they do nothing, and then performance or their delivery is haphazardly done. So it depends on how you see yourself. CIO magazine ranked PMP as the leading project management certification because it says it's the gold standard in project management certifications. Forbes says PMP certifications are the most popular worldwide. It's very, very easy for organizations to manage their expectations of you if you are PMP certified. So having said all that, currently we pushed for this, that instead of, if a member wants to write the exam to pay $405, we were able to get a discount of $341 if you are already a member and you want to write the PMP. If you are not a member, I told us earlier that the PMP fee for a non-member is $555. And that doesn't make you a member. But if you want to be a member and write the exam, it means you pay $169. The breakdown of the $169 is $10 for application fee for a new member, then $129 for global membership, and then $30 for Ghana chapter membership. You cannot be a member of Ghana chapter without you being a member of PMI Global. So that makes it $169. And then you can now pay for the exam fee, which is $405. So if you took this offer, this discount, you will get it at $480. You will have 1 year membership subscription and then pay for the PMP exam fee. The only condition here is you must pay this money on or before June 30th. Now, for you to be able to pay, remember I said earlier that for you to be able to pay, it means you have applied, your applications have been approved, and now you can pay. What we can do if you've already had your 35 contact hour is to work with you to apply for the exam. Once you apply, we can on your behalf follow up with our regional office so that your process can be quickened, so that you can have your approval hopefully before June 30th, so that you can enjoy this package. Some people may be wondering that, okay, you are talking about 35 contact hour. How do I do that? I don't know the institution to go to. Now, because of COVID, we may not be able to do that. I'm happy to tell you that PMI Ghana, we do have virtual PMP training. If you look at this, we have 6 different trainings, and what we usually do is we share the link with people that are interested in writing. You see the first one, 35 contact hour introductory to PMP, and the time is Monday 29th to June 3rd. Monday 29th June to 3rd July 2020. Sorry about that. And the time is 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. Now, we have the prices for this training varies. If you are a PMI Ghana chapter volunteer, you pay $850 for the period. If you are a PMI Ghana chapter member, it is 1,100 cedi. If you are not a member, it's 1,350 for the 35 contact hour, after which you will be issued certificate of attendance or completion, which you will need as part of your registration or application to PMI to write the PMP. People are already registering for the different categories. So for now, we have 7. Then the second option is also weekdays, but then in the evening. So you meet 3 times in a week, 6 to 8:30 p.m. So you meet 3 times, Isaac. You meet 3 times in a week for 4 weeks. Isaac, please, can you stop? Just fill the form. I don't know what you are clicking on that is requesting Isaac Pabi. I don't know, please, can you? All right, so the third is, now we have what you call exam prep. The 35 contact hour training is different from exam prep. The 35 contact hour introduces you to PMP. The exam prep prepares you for the exam. I've heard people come out of the exam and say the questions have 2 right answers. There are 2 options that are right. And when you say that, I will just conclude that you are not very sure of the right answers, because PMP is not for you to guess what the answers are or the right options are. You must know exactly what the right option is for each of the questions. So when you come to the exam prep, we show you how to read questions. We show you how to eliminate the 2 wrong options that are outrightly wrong. And then between the 2 options that seem to be correct, we also show you tricks on how to identify the right one. So we also have the different timeline for that. The only training here that is free for this period is what we call CAPM, Certified Associate Project Manager. It is different from PMP because this actually tests for knowledge, while PMP tests for knowledge and your experiential knowledge. This is like academic. The CAPM just tests your academic and understanding of, let's say, theories, what is in the textbook, something like that. But then the PMP gives you situational questions that, as project managers, if this should happen, what would you do as a project manager? So for the CAPM, it's for undergraduates and new entrants into the project management profession. So we are giving it to them for free for now. And this is the link to the scheduled training. So now we are at the questions side. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and put on my webcam for you to ask your questions. So anyone can ask if you have questions. Let's.
So thank you for the overview.
Welcome.
Yes, James, thanks for the overview. The last time I looked at the profile, I saw so many project management titles or letters out there. Could you shed some light on what informs after PMP, the other certifications I see you've done in the project management?
Okay, so it depends for your kind words. I think it depends on um, your your drive or your career, your profession. For me, like I said, I'm a consultant, and when my client comes, Africans, we don't like research, so most of my clients are not um, Ghanaians. But when they come, they are talking about their business. How does this sit um, with the organizational goals? So I realized that okay, there certain decisions were taken before they decided to um, take me up for my work, like for the research. So mine is to collect data to help them decide whether this line of projects they want to go to is relevant or not. So I felt that okay, for me to be able to talk intelligently to them, I need to go for the business analysis. That's the PBA. That was why I went for it. Now I'm currently thinking of going into agile as well, because when you do a PMP, you realize that PMP assumes in a way that things are not changing that much. It gives room for you to accommodate change through what we call um, change management board. When you are planning your project, you come up with people that would approve changes. So let's say in the instance where we have COVID now, scope of project would change. So you as a project manager would verify. Let's say somebody comes and say, because of COVID, let's do it this way. Before you, the project manager, accepts, you need to do some analysis. You find out the impact of this change on cost, on time, on risk, on quality, on stakeholder engagement, on communication, procurement, and all that. And so you present it. This change that you are proposing, it will add X number of weeks or months to the originally agreed timeline. It will add X amount to the budget. It will expose the project to this risk. It means we need a professional when it comes to human resource and all that. So when you present it to the project sponsor and the change control board, and they say, well, don't worry, we are okay with the time. We will give you the additional money. Okay, go ahead and recruit the resource, the human resource you need for the project. Then you take that change, you go back to your approved scope and update that scope to reflect the new change. Okay, and then you go on, and if you need to employ, take in new hands and whatever, you do all that, then you continue with the project. That is how PMP handles changes. Agile on the other hand, and when you do a business analysis, the PBA, you do a bit of agile. I was introduced to Scrum, that is a form of agile. So I did that. The only reason why I want to do the ACP is because it's PMI, and I am biased when it comes to the brand. So I felt, okay, because Scrum is not PMI, so let me do that. How agile manages changes is, you know the end goal, that okay, you want to manufacture a car that would fly. Agile will start the project not to manufacture the car to fly, but will manufacture a car that can move. That is why when you take your phone, you are always updating. So when you update your software, it will do one or two things that it wasn't doing originally. That is a form of agile. Incremental deliverables. So you achieve your goals in an incremental manner. And that doesn't mean your project is not successful, but you get your results on an incremental manner. So, and that is where we are getting to. And when you look at PMP, actually is adopting agility. It's now adopting agility, but it is mainly what we call waterfall approach of project management. Where the world is going to is they are going to hybrid, where you have a form of waterfall That's you plan extensively to the end of the project. And then you have a form of agility incorporated. So you have a form of hybrid. Because if you are not careful and all your project is agile, you may end up spending so much compared to someone that is planning the project and the cost and everything that is using waterfall. So the end goal is actually a form of hybrid. So what I do is influencing the kind of certifications I go in for. And because the world is competitive and the certifications gives you some form of advantage, it also influences the type of certifications I go for. I hope I have answered your question. Hello. Hello. Do we have anyone that wants to ask question? Hello. You can also type your question if you don't want to talk. Is anyone saying anything? Is it okay for me to assume we are all okay? So, can you hear me?
Madam President, thank you very much.
Most welcome. Benedict, are you talking?
Well, just confirming that we can hear you.
Okay.
We are okay with that. Okay.
Okay. I know you are preparing for the PMP. How is the journey?
I have not started preparing that much because I've postponed it to maybe somewhere October. So when I'm getting closer, I'll do the preparations and everything.
Okay. When we are getting closer, you do preparation.
Yes,
October will come right now.
I know.
Okay. I wish you all the best, but you know the chapter is available to provide support um, if needed. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes, if you are online and your need is different from um writing PMP, you can also you can ask your question so that we'll address it as well. Okay, so someone just asked a question here that does PMI Ghana chapter help prepare members to take the PMP test? I'm not sure I understood this question. What do you mean by prepare? What the chapter does is we offer training at a fee for the 35 contact hour. We also offer exam prep that prepares you for the exam. The truth is, you as an individual must prepare for the exam. You would study, you burn the candles. If you like the nightlife, thank God COVID has reduced the nightlife, but some people are still finding their ways in, I mean, into the nightlife. So, but you would have to reduce it for the period. I'm quick to share my experience on how I prepared for my PMP. My children were younger, and I was working. I was doing 9 to 5, in fact 8 to 5, and so coming home in the evening was not an option for me because they will be all over. So, and thankfully, I'm a morning person. I tell people when you are preparing for this time of exam, it's important you know the type of person you are, as in the time when you study, you get the best so that you can maximize your time. So because I'm a morning person, I wake up 3 a.m. and that's the time the sleep is sweet, Pam. So for me to ensure that I'm fully awake, I take my bath and I prepare a cup of tea. So by the time I finish the tea, I'm fully awake. So I estimated 30 minutes for that, waking up and, sleepwalking and doing all that. Then I start studying from 3:30 to about 5 when I wake the kids up. And I have just finished my MBA. So the stress of the MBA from 2007 to 2008-9 at Central University. Then I did started with the PMP. My hair actually started falling, and my hairdresser was using all chemicals trying to. So one day she asked me, "Are you under any stress?" I said, "Oh no, stress. No. I said, "Are you in school?" I said, "Oh yes, I'm in school." He said, "But that is also a form of stress." And that I'm not sleeping well, and so I should just relax. Once I finish with my course, the stress would reduce and my hair would start growing well. So I'm just sharing my testimony that's one of like the sacrifices you would need to take if you want to write the exam. And I assure you, it's a lot of work to prepare, especially for someone with engineering background that doesn't like reading text. Unfortunately, the PMP exam, the questions are not really analytical. You have to read and answer. So you need to study. I'm also quick to tell people that I did not pass at my first sitting, because I hear many people say when I wrote, I passed. It's a good testimony, but that wasn't my testimony because I remembered I was asked to come for exam prep, and I felt, oh, they want to take my money. I'm not going for any exam prep. Yeah, so I didn't go. And like I said, you know your fate before you leave the venue. There are two messages that you are likely going to get one of. One is either congratulations, you passed, and the message will scroll from the corner of the screen like that, congratulations, you passed, or we are sorry you failed before you left the venue. So I got we are sorry you failed. And I'm also quick to say that one of the reasons why I went back to write the exam was because of my girls, because they kept on asking, "Mommy, the exam you wrote, have you written the exam? The exam you were preparing for, have you written it?" So it was after I passed that I told them that I actually failed the first time. So you need to, the chapter will support if you ask questions, but when it comes to the preparation itself, you would have to do the work. Someone also asked a question, is it compulsory to get the required hours before you write the exams? There are 2 required hours here. If you are talking about the 35 contact hour, the training that introduces you to PMP is a must. It's a must if you don't have any training in school based on the PIN book that introduces you to PMP. It's not a must if you have program like the example I gave, the MSc Project Management KNUST, because PMI Ghana was part of the people that helped them draw the curricula. So we know that PIN book is part of it. And then GIMPA, the MBA or MSc project management, it also has the PMBOK in it. So you can actually use the certificate from these two institutions to replace the 35 contact hour. But otherwise, you need to do the 35 contact hour training. Now, then the project management experience is a must. Before, we used to say 4,500 hours project management work experience for people with degree, and then people without degree 7,500 hours. Now we are talking in terms of months. 36 months for those who have degree, which is 3 years, and then for those without degree is 5 years. So it's a must. Then sometimes people go like, oh no, I don't have experience in that much in project management, and I go like, okay, this is how PMI defines project. PMI says project is an endeavor or any activity that has a beginning, that's it starts, it ends, and produces unique results. It must end and it must produce unique results. That is what distinguishes project from operations. So as long as it's not operations and it's project. So if I graduated from uni last year, my thesis or project work is actually a project. And sometimes people also don't know how to quantify that. You quantify it from the point where you are going back and forth with your project supervisor on agreeing on topic and all that. And when you started writing the literature review, introduction literature review, and then you started collecting data, analyzing. So at the end of the project is when you submitted your project work or your thesis, and it was signed off that you have submitted. That so you can get your part of the 36 months or the 4,500 hours work experience from there. What other negatives? This is another question. What other negatives are there in taking the test at home? So far, the feedback we have received from people that have attempted to write the exam at home has been internet connectivity. Their internet didn't connect, or it connected and it dropped, or they had power outages. So I advise people, go to the center or go to a good cafe, because when you want to write at home, you must use a system with a webcam. You have to show them your room where you are seated to write the exam. There's no one with you to be showing you answers or something. You are not supposed to be with your phone. Intermittently, they would ask you to show the room again, and then you put your ID beside you. Intermittently, they would ask for you to show your ID so that they can confirm that the person writing the exam is the person they are seeing on their screen, because your webcam must be on all through the process so that they can see you. So so if you are not sure of power, you are not sure of internet connect, it sounds so nice that you are writing from home, but then these are some of the challenges you may have if you wrote in your home. But if you are sure of your internet connectivity and power, I will want to write in my home so that I don't have to drive and all that. And in scheduling the exam, you will schedule the time of the day that you want to write it, in the morning or evening, afternoon. It's dependent on you when you want to write. So if anyone has any other question, you can ask. Otherwise,
hello, Jimmy.
Hi.
This is Anastasia.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to top up on the bit of the writing at home. The writing
We can't hear you. I guess this is, we can say this is a demonstration of internet connectivity at home. I think this is just okay. So we can't hear her whilst we are waiting for internet to behave. How many of us are here and would want to write the exam, or how many of us have already written the exam? Because I see some names that I think are already certified. So I would write. I'm giving us email that we can write to info@pmi-ghana.org. You can let us know how we can be of assistance. I'm also quick to tell people that there will never be the right time for you to write the exam. Some people will say they want to be less busy. Some people will say they are waiting. Your time would always, you will be engaged. So you will just have to make time and write the exam. I had a certificate on project planning and management from Liberia Institute of Public Administration. Can I join as a member with it, or can I use it to write my exam directly? Okay. Membership, because my focus was on PMP, I didn't talk about membership per se. Most times people feel they have to write exam to become a member of PMI. It is not so. Membership of PMI is strictly by payment of membership subscription fee. That's it. So we have quite a number. Currently, we are about 540 in the chapter, and we have over 200 members that are not certified. They don't have PMP. They don't have any of the certifications. And when you look at even the volunteers or staff of PMI, we have people that are not certified. They are just members and they hold positions. So it is not about certification to become member. They are mutually exclusive, membership and certification. Now, I don't know the content of what the project planning and management from LIPA is made up of. You are in a better position to tell whether it covered the 5 process groups. PMP is a unique approach to project management. So if the training you had covered this unique approach of the 5 of looking at project as having 5 processes, 5 main processes, which means initiating the process, planning the project that has the largest chunk of the project manager's work, then executing the project, monitoring and controlling as you are planning, and as you are executing, you are controlling, you are monitoring to be sure that you are within scope, and then you've officially closed the project. And then all these other knowledge areas of the project, the integration, how you integrate every component of project management processes and the activities together, cost, time, risk, quality, stakeholder communication, procurement. If this certificate covered that, or the training covers that, then you can use it for 35 contact hour. You would have to attach it to your application to PMI plus the project management work experience, and then once you have the approval, you can pay for the exam and write it. Okay, someone is confused whether to write CAPM first and PMP. CAPM is below PMP. If you have working experience in project management, you don't need to write CAPM. I didn't write CAPM, okay? But some people got introduced to PMI and project management early without they having work experience. So they wrote CAPM, or they can write CAPM. But if you've been working on projects and you have this minimum of 36 months, which is 3 hours, you don't need to write CAPM. Just write your PMP straight. If you have, say, 2 years of work experience, I would just encourage you to wait and have the 3rd year. Then you have the minimum requirements, and then you can apply to write PMP straight up. Someone says that, ask that, what are the prospects for PMP certification without a degree? For it's very easy. It's easier for me to use myself as example. For projects that I had gotten via LinkedIn that were based on they trusting my capability to manage projects because I'm PMP, nobody actually spoke about my degree, because I have degree in engineering, then I did MBA in general management, and I'm talking of consulting in market research and project management. So the focus is manage this project for us well to be within the required timeline and budget, and ensure that the deliverable is of quality. So depends on the organization. Some people, when they see you, irrespective of your degree, they are just waiting for you to show them what you worth, what you can do, and not what, even here in Ghana, and not what your not paper qualification that you have. So there are prospects, because everything is now about projects. You see, there's a feeling you have when you are PMP certified. I can't explain it until you become certified. You will understand it. And you go for conferences, and you have people from all over the world. When you go for PMI conference, for instance, your name badge, they have ribbons of the various certifications. So you pick your name badge, and then if you are PMP certified, you pick your PMP certified badge. You attach it, your PMP ribbon, you attach it to your name badge. If you have other certifications, you pick the ribbon. You just, I don't know how to put it. There's a feeling. And then if you are the type that goes beyond just having certification and applying it, you may be tagged as too known or too knowing, but the quality of your work will set you apart, and then people will start using you as yardstick, asking you for templates of what you do. I've had opportunity, people ask me for report that I've presented because they want to use it as a template for their own report. And when you actually pay attention to communication and project management or the PMP, you start communicating differently. When you are talking, you are already answering questions that people have not asked you yet. So you become better in communication, you become better in planning. You're always thinking of plan B, That's the risk management aspect. So it depends on you, on how you would adopt these things. I'm a very small consultant in my corner, as people would say. I'm sitting my somewhere. But then when you work with people, you have referral, and that is what I dwell on, because when you work with me, you can tell that there is a difference, okay? And that is what PMP gives you. So there are prospects. Without degree, there are prospects. Okay, so so now I'm going back to one of the participants that wanted to know if a certificate he had could be used. Yes, then what you need to do now is to write out your projects. Let's say for the last 3-5 years you've worked on.
It's 7 o'clock.
You've worked on projects, so you write project rice. I like food, so I'm using food. Project rice. And then you write short description of what the project rice was about. Maybe to feed 1,000 people, and then you also put the duration. Maybe it was for 12 months. So it means Project Rise to feed 1,000 young ladies, and then the duration is 12 months. These 12 months will be broken down into the 5 process groups. The initiating, maybe you were not part of the people that initiated the project, so it will be 0. If you were part of the people that did the planning, so your best estimate out of the 12 months, how many months did I spend on planning? Maybe 2 months, because they started the planning before I came on board. So 2 months. Then execution, that is when you are doing what is in your project management plan. Maybe that is 7 months, and then monitoring and controlling 1 month, and then closing, you were not part, so, or you were part, because now we have 10 months, right? So the closing is 2 months, making it 12 months. So that is how you will feel. That's how you fill your application. So you need a number of projects. Some people, just one project, they got a 36 months because the project was long, and so you fill it, and then you attach a soft copy of the certificate you have. That's it. You don't pay to apply. You apply, and then PMI gets back to you, and approve it. So if it is within this initiative where I said that to become a member, you need $480 plus the exam. So you become a member, it pays for 1 year subscription, and then for the exam, $480. So once you receive the approval, you get in touch with us, and then we give you the code so that you can pay the $480. Because if you go straight online, you won't see $480. You rather see $555 because you are not a member. And if you are a member, you won't see $341. You will see $405. But when you get the code from us, you'll be able to see $341 or $480, as it were. Okay, someone wants to know, in case one fails, how long it takes for one to rewrite. It depends on you. Because when I failed, I went to Total House to write it. I was so angry at myself, the world, at PMI. And you see, it will not show you how you failed, though. Like, for you to even be able to tell that, okay, if the grading is by process groups, maybe planning you failed there, you don't have anything. All you would have is, we are sorry you failed, try again. I was angry at the world. When I got to through the pin box somewhere, because I had the hard copy, just anything that would remind me of PMP, I didn't want to see it until I recovered. Mind you, you have 1 year. So within the 1 year, so I'm not comfortable when people apply. I'm not saying they will fail, but I'm not comfortable if you apply and your 1 year ends in December and you are putting your exam in November. So you from January, you are doing nothing. You say you are preparing. So if you wrote in November and you fail, you have just between November and December to rewrite. So and you have to pay again. I think it's $275 or so. I can't remember. When you receive approval from PMI, you have you have 3 times maximum to write and rewrite. So it means you write and you have 2 more times to write within the 1 year. So if you pass second or third sitting, you are saved. If you don't pass, which has happened before, then it means you have to start the process all over. So the time you have depends on you, how you maximize that 1 year that you are given. Most of the time when people fail and they want to rewrite, they actually struggle because it's like, I've read this thing before. This thing is right. But I tell people that when you want to write PMP, you need to unlearn, okay, and relearn project management the PMI way. And why I failed was when they asked question, I unconsciously went to how I was managing project, because I was managing project when I wrote PMP. there is no way I would report someone for doing something wrong. But you come across questions that would say, if somebody is sharing questions and they claim they saw during their PMP exam, what should you do? Option 1, don't look at it. Option 2, tell the person what the person is doing is wrong. Option 3, report the person to the person's superior. Option 4, report the person to PMI. I mean, report the person to PMI was not an option for me. Reporting the person to the person's superior was also not an option for me. My option was to tell the person what you are doing is not right. But what PMI expects you to do is to report the person to PMI so that the person's certificate can be taken. As African, you wouldn't do that. So you need to unlearn what you know about project management and learn and approach the exam the way PMI wants you to approach the exam. So how long depends on you. Any question or any area you want me to clarify or shed more light on? And we are going to have repeats of this session tomorrow morning by God's grace. It's the same thing where we introduce people to PMP, because there are lots of myths going on about PMP that we felt that people just need to get more education on. Someone wants to know, okay, so the time you are writing the exam, whatever the exam is based on as at that time, the PMBOK is changing 1st January 2021. So exam from 1st January 2021 will be based on the 7th edition. So the option you have is to write the exam on or before 31st December so that your exam will be based on the 6th edition of the PMBOK. The exam was actually supposed to change on 1st July 2020. Then Uncle COVID came. So it's distorted few things. So the questions are there. They already had workshops with volunteers, people that are certified with PMP. They had it it was a 10 of Ghana. They had it at Kempinski. We had some of our members that were invited. So they did some workshops in coming up with questions and modifying and all that. So as for the questions, they like the database for the questions people will be tested on from 1st January 2021 are already available. It's just that they are not launched yet. They will be launched from 1st January 2021. So I will advise you to write the exam. If you are not ready to start identifying what the changes are between the 6th and the 7th edition, to try and write the exam this year. But it would be nice to hear your voices instead of typing the question in the chat session. Is it okay for me to assume we are done? No questions. I've also shared an email address, info@pmi-ghana.org. that you can send us questions on. I'm afraid this session will not attract PDUs. because the focus, the target is actually for people that are not certified, so that we can provide information to help us understand what PMP is, and then the process required to become certified. But for those that are online, that are interested in HR, there will be a session on 10th July. We have a speaker from PMI that would shed light on what we call disciplined HR. It's the newest baby of PMI. So it's also on HR. So that's what we can say for now. We're just concentrating on meetings scheduled for June. Yeah. All right. Thank you for your time. And we are okay. So let me also leave my number for WhatsApp at Godly Hours. Okay. So someone just joined us. Oh, okay. So can I assume we are done, so that we end this session? All right. Have a good evening. God bless you. Thank you for making time to join us.
Thank you very much. To do me. Well done.
Thank you.
You did a good job, Madam Presido.
Thank you.
Bye. Nice.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.